As Jeff said, GM says it needs the deal to help sell cars by making financing more available, and nobody sells more cars than AutoNation. The auto dealership chain stock up today after it reported strong quarterly earnings. And joining us now to talk about the earnings and ostensibly this GM news is Mike Maroone, President and COO of AutoNation. Mike, you didn't know you were going to step into this GM mess. Broke out this morning. Listen, you guys are probably in favor of this AmeriCredit deal, I would imagine.
Well, good afternoon, Brian. We are very much in favor. It strategically is the right move for General Motors. It's a brilliant move. It's a big gap that they had being able to get non-prime customers financed, and we applaud the move.
Do you understand, though, why some people are upset when GMAC, its former financing arm, still owns billions, and they closed down a bunch of private dealers, many of whom say they were closed down unfairly? Now they suddenly find $3.5 billion. Well,
Brian, let's go a little bit deeper with GMAC. GMAC's performance in auto lending was very strong. Where they went sideways was investing in housing, and that's what took GMAC into the ditch, and that's what caused the bailout. But their performance in auto lending over time was very good. I think this is a very good move for GM, and again, we applaud it. It's like Christmas here at AutoNation.
Well, you understand, I mean, listen, as Jeff Flock was just talking about, GM had a relationship with AutoNation. If I wanted to buy a Chevy Malibu, I might get a loan through AutoNation. Why do they need to own them? What does owning them versus just dealing with them mean for AutoNation that's got many GM dealerships?
Well, Brian, you know, for us, we've always believed that having a captive finance company was strategically the right thing. It allows you a lot more flexibility. You don't need to rely on third-party lenders. You can take risk appropriately. You can redirect that business. If you look at most of the successful car companies, in fact, all the successful car companies, they've got a captive finance arm. And again, we think this is the right move. If you look at Toyota and you look at Ford, those are great assets. And certainly when GM sold half of GMAC, Mike Jackson called out at the time that he did not think strategically that was the right move, and it certainly weakened GM at the time.
When we go to buy a car, though, are people not buying, a Chevy Malibu because they couldn't get lending, and so instead they go buy a Ford Taurus? I mean, it seems like an equally, sort of price range type car. Do you buy the argument that it, will help them be more competitive? I know you just want to sell cars, and you got dealerships across every brand, but is it going to help GM sell specifically their own cars?
Absolutely, it will. And we track each lender, both our captive lenders, when we call our preferred lenders, as to their approval rates and their loan advances. And we believe that that captive finance company is a tremendous advantage. And we would just tell you in our business, our sales percent this quarter, year over year, our traffic is up probably 4 or 5%. The main driver in the recovery thus far is the restoration of credit. So this credit piece is a very important piece for General Motors and a very important piece for AutoNation.
Okay, using your sales then as a general proxy for the overall economy, is the economy getting better?
We believe the economy's definitely getting better. Again, when you look at our numbers, our earnings per share were up 36% to 38 cents. That's adjusted from continuing operations, driven by 20% increase in new, 20% increase in used vehicles. More importantly, we saw recovery in all 4 of our regions. Both California and Florida, which had been under tremendous stress from housing, were both up over 20% in both units and revenue. So we're clearly seeing and are really using that recovery to make a vote of confidence in the general economy. We've announced that we've bought back 12% of our outstanding shares, so we made a major share repurchase this quarter. We've also announced acquisition of 3 franchises that'll generate $200 million in run rate, as well as confirming that we're investing $150 million in our existing footprint by improving our stores. So we see a recovery, but our expression of confidence is really to reinvest in the company right now, anticipating an even greater recovery going forward.
That is good to hear. We'd like to have a little good news, and your stock has got some good news for your investors today as well. Mike Maroone, President and CEO of AutoNation. Mike, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
All right.